Welcome back to They Did What? Your source for the internet's craziest and most entertaining stories, where I go over them, analyze them, and on occasion, make fun of them. Today, I'm going to go over a story titled, Am I the A-hole for distancing myself from my daughter after she took her mother's side? And guys, this story is about a guy. He is 50 years old, and he found that his wife was having an affair with a dude who is in his, I believe, late 20s. More than 20 years younger than the guy. And to no surprise, this guy said, that's it, we're done. And as it turns out, they had a big prenup before they got married because his wife's family was wealthy. They insisted it. And because all his kids are above the age of 18 and other reasons, she's not getting anything except for her side of ownership of the house. So she's pretty much, up shit's creek. But here's the deal. His oldest daughter is taking her side and making the dad out to be the bad guy for not trying to work out the marriage. And I might add, you're going to find out that the daughter, she knew about the affair all along and tried to cover it up. And this guy, he doesn't find out about that right away, but he does distance himself from her because she won't take no for an answer. And I'm doing this, guys, to show you how, guess what, this guy didn't do anything wrong, but he's being made out to be the bad guy by some people. It's crazy. And he has had enough. So, I'm going to get more into it. Starts off, he says, I, a 50-year-old male, found out that my wife, 49-year-old female of 20 years, was having an affair. I was completely hurt over this and have started divorce proceedings. Obviously, this has been hard on our 4 children, but I cannot spend the rest of my life with someone I can't trust. Very smart. He's 50. His life isn't over yet. Before we got married, my wife's family had money and demanded that I sign a prenup. I had no problem, but since then, the family money has been lost due to bad investments and lawsuits. Lawsuits? What's up with this family? My wife was a stay-at-home mom for the majority of our marriage. Our youngest child is 19, and because of the prenup, she can't get alimony. In short, my wife will be screwed. Well, she was getting screwed, and now she's going to get screwed money-wise. Poetic. The only thing we own together was our house, and while it's paid off, my wife won't be able to afford the upkeep or the homeowner association fees, so she will be effectively homeless. I have no intention of giving her any type of support for any reason. Since serving my wife divorce papers, I refused direct contact as my lawyer has advised. But she's now playing dirty by getting the children involved. Not cool. And that happens a lot. They'll try to, the parents getting divorced will try to turn the kids against each other, and it's usually the mothers that pull that shit. He says here, we have 2 boys, 23 and 21, and 2 girls, 25 and 19. And my wife has been pleading with them to get me to agree to halt the divorce proceedings in favor of counseling. After I told my children that I had no interest in wasting any more of my life with that woman, they have all essentially backed off, except for my oldest, Christy. She's very close to her mother and I can't imagine she can't imagine her life where her parents aren't married. She's 25. It's not like she's 6 years old, okay? And as you're going to see, guys, like I mentioned in the beginning, she has other motives here because she knew about it all along. I have an arch nemesis out there by the name of Christy for you SSM people that want to know what led me down the path to doing my channel. That's one of them. I'll tell you about that another day. It says, Christy tells me that her mother realizes her mistake and will do whatever it takes to make things right. Anal? She says that I owed it to the family to work things out. Owed it my ass. She's the one that screwed up the marriage. I refused and told her that it wasn't her place to make those kind of demands. Since then, the only time Chrissy talks to me is when she's sobbing and asking me not to destroy the family. Asking him to not destroy the family? What about her mom? Her mom was hooking up with some dude who was in his late 20s. She's the one that ruined it, but of course the dad is being made to be a bad guy. See how the girls stick together? I understand this is hard for her and offered to pay for therapy so she can cope, but she said there wouldn't be anything to cope with if I wasn't trying to divorce her mother. Since Christy is being too emotional to act within reason and refuse therapy, I've been resolved to limit contact until after the divorce. However, my other children are saying that Christy's behavior is getting worse. Am I the a-hole for taking a step away from my daughter for a while? Hell no. You said your piece. She's a grown-ass woman. She's 25 years old. You made it clear. We're done. Enough's enough, but she won't take no for an answer. And again, you're going to see more as I get into this where this comes from. Hell no. Now he has some updates. He says, He says, all right, I read a couple of responses. I just want to clarify a few things. So now some questions are going to be answered in case you had any. He says, number one, clearly my "she will be effectively be homeless" comment was misinterpreted, so let me set the record straight. Because my wife and I own the house together, so long as we sell the house and split the proceeds, she'll get something. Number two, my wife didn't give up her career to raise my children. We could have hired a nanny, but she wanted to do that and chose to be a stay-at-home mom for our children. Because of her family money, she was getting a monthly allowance from the estate, plus I paid a housekeeper to make things easier on her. That must be nice, getting a monthly payment from the family money. Most of us here, including myself, could not imagine such a thing. Number three, once my wife reached 30, she started getting a monthly allowance from the family estate, and the prenup addressed that I couldn't claim half. In exchange, she couldn't get alimony. Ha! Number four, I didn't want my children to get involved in the divorce. My wife decided to do that and even brought up the reason why as a form of preemptive strike. I only talk about the divorce when someone else brings it up, which Christy wants to do all the time. Yeah, her last-ditch effort to win, she's bringing up the divorce with the kids and getting them involved. Not cool. Number five, I'm not abandoning my daughter. I am just lowering contact with her until the divorce is finalized because she's not letting up on trying to pressure me into taking her mother back and refuses to go to therapy, and I will pay for her. Okay. Well, he tried. He tried reasoning with her. That didn't work. He offered to pay for therapy to help her the emotional shit. That didn't work. She won't leave him alone. She's a grown-ass woman. I'd say, hey, I'm taking a break too. I'm not abandoning you, but you're not respecting my boundaries, not respecting my wishes. You're an adult. Start acting like it. I'm treating you like one. Back off. Okay, I'm taking a break from you for a while. Number six, also to the comment asking why my wife cheated, it's a little offensive. I don't know how that changes anything or that I should care. However, the guy that she cheated on was with me he was younger. Looked like he couldn't be any older than 30, so take that information and do what you want with it. Now, some more updates and some more dirt here. He says, I just want to say that I was grateful to all of you for your kind words and support and how to deal with my daughter. I decided to follow some of your advice and have scheduled a sit-down with her to explain what goes on between her mother and I is not her fault. I think reasoning with this girl, he's beyond the point of reasoning with her. And I simply can't ever go back to a woman who deceived me in such a big way. I told her that I'd try to be as forgiving and as empathetic as possible, but I will not ever tolerate people who lie with malicious, selfish intent and try to cut them out of my personal life as much as possible. I got no problem with this. And it goes both ways. If he was cheating on her and he was banging some chick who was 22 and having an affair with her and she was a good, loyal wife to him and he got caught and she wanted to end the marriage, no ifs, ands, or buts, I'd have no problem with that either. And if one of his sons was pleading with the mom to give dad a second chance and she said no, I'm reasonable, I'm fair here. It goes on, he says, I was very calm when I said this and tried to be as loving as I could to my child, but it didn't work. Christy ended up breaking down and again tried to get me to convince me not to divorce her mother and just forgive her. Well, I may forgive her one day, but he sure as hell isn't going to forget and he's not going to stay with her anymore. And all this crying and waterworks and all that bullshit is manipulation tactics. I refused, and in the end went no contact with Christy for a little bit. I only spoke to her again 2 days before my daughter Jane's 20th birthday party, and through a text asking her not to bring up the divorce. This is going to be the first time that my wife and I would be in each other's presence since I filed. I sent the same text message to her mother, and I didn't hear anything from either of them. Yeah, because they were plotting some drama, that's why. On Jane's birthday, things were a little tense and awkward, but I thought it was going good until my wife decided to be passive-aggressive with a speech about how good it is to have family together during important events. Everyone saw through her crap, and my son Jack, a 23-year-old male, called her out on it and said that she was being selfish to bring up this on Jane's birthday. Good for your son. Good for him by standing by his pa. Christy started defending her mother, and Jane, understandably upset, revealed that the only reason Christy was on their mother's side for reconciliation was because she didn't want the fact that she not only knew about the affair, but helped her mother cover it up. Whew. Well, there you go. Now, the younger daughter happens to know about this. I'm assuming the younger daughter knew that the sister knew once all this shit came out, but she didn't know about it when it was going on. But there you go. She knew about it the whole time, and she helped cover it up for Mom. And the one pushing for the dad to forgive, making Dad be out the bad guy. What a load of shit. I would be done with that oldest daughter, Christy, for a long time. I know it's his kid, but seriously. He says there was a big fight that wasn't going to get resolved right then and there. I ended up leaving and was even more heartbroken all over again. Yeah, that sucks. His daughter knew the whole freaking time and then was trying to cover it up. I'd be heartbroken too. But this guy's shown, don't mess with him. He'll cut you off. Not only did my wife betray me, but my own daughter too. I knew she was closer to her mother than me, and I was okay with all this. I don't know what I did to make my eldest daughter so disloyal to me. But I'm now resolved to go full no contact with her until after the divorce, and possibly the rest of my life. Well, if this guy did this, you couldn't blame him in the least. Hell, he's got 3 other good kids, so fine, get rid of the oldest one. And like I said, anybody named Christy is usually a bitch. But anyhow, that's for another story. But anyhow, guys, isn't it amazing? The good father, he didn't do anything wrong, and they're blaming him. The wife betrays him, the daughter betrays him. Unbelievable. But hey, you know what? What's cool is he signed the prenup, no problem there. But now, because the kids are all legal adults, and because of the terms of the prenup, which one might argue they may try to break, hey, no alimony for her. So they sell the house, split the proceeds. She's got to find her own way. But maybe she can have her 20-something boyfriend, Chad and Tyrone, come help her and pay the bills. But something tells me her lover ain't going to help all too much. So, but anyhow, guys, goes to show you. So that is it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let us think about this. And guys, you ever come across a really good story you'd like to share, whatever it may be, by all means, send it over to me. If it definitely works, I will do a video on it. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.